I will, as it's recording, I will save it later and disseminate it so that you guys can all grab it. As I was saying, it's just a function of pre-existing stress that when we come to a situation like we have right now, the ability to offload that pre-existing stress and create increased capacity is something that's extremely valuable. And so breathwork provides us an opportunity to release some of that pre-existing stress, to unpack our nervous system in a very powerful, potent way, and to begin to leverage the breath-brain connection to benefit the body in a time of great need. So we're going to breathe in a couple of different ways. It's going to be designed to create more of an experience. So if you can get comfortable, I'm going to invite you to lay back. I'm going to invite you to get as comfortable as you possibly can. And I'm going to take you through a tour of styles. This is not any particular one style of breath work. I don't believe in or adhere to a single style or method, because for every breath that is indicated, that's also contraindicated. It's incredibly personal and intense. To wit, if you are experiencing any increased or heightened anxiety while you're breathing, please remember, you can take your foot off the gas at any time. You are driving the bus. You do not have to listen to my cues. I'll have music in the background. You are invited to breathe in any way that you feel is beneficial to you. Some of the breathing patterns, particularly circular breathing, can increase and heighten a sense of anxiety or sensation in the body. At that point, you have two distinct choices. Lay off the gas, back it off, and breathe in a completely different way that you find enjoyable. DM me and we can talk at the end of this about what that means and heightened, increased anxiety. The other option, and this is one that, please forgive all the new folks coming on, there's just going to be noise intermittent and all that. I'm going to recommend that if it's possible, if you can keep with the breathing patterns, that you push through the anxiety. And what happens is you end up crying sometimes you might have a little shake, you might have a bit of a sensation, but on the other end of that release, and that's why I put that word first in the invite, we're trying to release what's there to create additional capacity. And then we can relax, we can restore, we can renew. So much is being talked about breathwork to alleviate anxiety. And that is the ultimate goal. But part of this experience is to push through a little bit of discomfort to hopefully off-gas some of what's going on in your system and create increased capacity. So we'll just take a couple of seconds. If anyone has a question, please unmute yourself and ask. We'll just take a couple of seconds here for any burning desires, new people, anyone who's brand new to this, who wants to know what we're doing. And then we'll just get into teaching you the breathing style and the actual breath pattern that we're going to be using. And then I'll invite you to lay down, relax, get comfortable, and we'll start the journey. I invite you to relax, lay down, or stay seated, get comfortable. I'm going to invite you to begin to breathe in any way that you feel is beneficial to you, whether that's through your nose or your mouth. I just want you to check in. Checking in right now with your breath, whether it's through your nose or your mouth. And this is the first question I like to ask people is, how do I know that I'm breathing? How do I know that I'm breathing? How do I know that I'm breathing? Just begin to check in. The rise and fall of the belly and the chest. Maybe putting one hand on your belly, one hand on your chest, and simply noticing. Observing without judgment. Any thoughts or feelings, sights, sounds, smells, or sensations associated with your breath. And just checking in. There's so much that's pulling us out right now. And noticing the temperature of the air as it enters your body, temperature of the air as it exits your body. Now I invite you to begin to breathe, if you are breathing through your mouth, to begin to breathe through your nose. Noticing the temperature of the air as it enters in through your nostrils. The temperature of the air as it exits your nostrils. Just observing again and noticing. How do I know that I'm breathing? Following the breath now. As it enters the lungs. And tracking the breath. As your chest rises, as you pull from the belly up into the chest. And then exhaling through the nose. You exhale. You can begin to let go a little more, relax a little more, release a little more. And simply taking the time to breathe in a way and feel. What if you could feel your breath? What if your breath could feel you? And now beginning to use your imagination. To imagine that you could bring to the breath the very qualities that the breath will bring back to you. What if your breath was a dear loved one or a friend, and you could bring a little more grace, a little more peace, a little more love to each breath, and trust that the breath will bring it back to you. Breathe that in now. And on each inhale, making a little more space, imagining that your breath is like a spatula. And that you're looking for any areas inside your body that feel stuck. And bring the breath directed to those areas in your mind's eye, imagining that you can breathe down into that region of your body. And just get the breath right under the edges where it might be a little crispy, might be a little crunchy. And just get the breath under there and flip it. Just a very light breath. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Right now we're just playing and introducing you to the fact that you can actually direct your breath with your brain. Anywhere, anytime. And so beginning to connect your breath to your brain and your breath and brain to your body in a whole new way. Just noticing how using your breath and your brain, you can bring your whole world into a very sharp, very clear focus inside your body with very little effort in very little time. Breathe it in now. And as you make a little more space on each inhale, noticing what comes up and beginning to invite it to leave on its own on the exhale as you let it go. Not forcing, not pushing. Anything we force to go comes back. But anything we let go stays gone. If we let it go on its own, it'll stay. If we try to push it, it's definitely coming back. And so we release with the exhale. And so this cycle of making space on the inhale and releasing on the exhale is a very simple cycle. It's birth and death and rebirth. Like a spiral, We see it in 2D and it looks like a simple wave going up and down. But if you imagine in 3D that it's a spiral and that your breath is your board and you're riding a universal wave of energy. We can call that wave anything you want, but right now we're just practicing riding our breath. In and out, up and down, very simple, nothing fancy about this. And bringing your breath with a great deal of love and kindness and attention to any area of your body that feels like it needs a little extra love. So maybe scan your body with your breath now, allowing your breath to sweep from the tip of your head, or the top of your head, to the tips of your toes. And as you breathe from the top of your head to the tips of your toes, just notice what's in there that needs a little love today. As you breathe into your body, as you breathe into your brain, simply notice. We're just making space, that's all we're doing. Where can you make a little more space? For love. For patience. For kindliness. For tolerance. And breathing in through your nose and letting it go through your nose. We're about to switch gears. We're going to go from the nose to the mouth. And so I want you to begin to imagine that you can breathe as though you're sucking a piece of spaghetti through a straw. Or through whistle lips, pursing your lips and making lots and lots of turbulence on the inhale in. Breathe with me. And when you get to the top, make sure you dump it out. Don't force it, don't write it down. Just simply dump it out and sigh it out in a Shakespearean way. And again. And when you sigh it out, you actually cheat your nervous system. And you'll know when you get it right. Because you tell your nervous system that it's safe, and when it's safe, you can relax. And so begin to inhale in a very gentle rhythm of your own before I put the music on. Again, imagining in your mind's eye that you're sucking a piece of spaghetti through a straw. And then sighing it out in a Shakespearean way. Again, breathing in and letting it go. And beginning to tighten up the pauses at the top and the bottom. The pauses are where control lives, and right now we want to give up some of that control for some of the benefit that lies on the other side of simply letting go a little more. And so those of you who are advanced breathers, I know you're on here, we want to invite you to begin to breathe in your own way at your own pace. Those of you who are new, begin to slowly, fully begin to expand the belly and the lungs, breathing in. And on the exhale, there's no forcing. If you push it, you'll miss that secret little trigger. If you ride the breath down, it's so tempting. It's such a beautiful exercise, but you will miss the neurological trigger at the top of the inhale when you dump the exhale out. And so breathing again. How can you make the exhale gentle? How can you make that dumping out of the exhale something elegant and graceful? Just practice. You're alone. There's nobody with you. You're in the privacy of your own home, in a safe space. Everything you need is provided for in this moment. Completely and utterly saturated with ambient room air. You have all the supply you could ever need. How good does that feel? Breathe it in now and let it go. And every time you hit that beautiful neurological trigger at the top of the inhale and you dump the exhale, you can drop down a little more. Just keep trying, just keep practicing. If it's your first time and you're struggling to get that exhale, don't worry, just keep going. There's no right, there's no wrong. Just observing our exhale and practicing. And we don't breathe this way every day, but it's like a scale. We practice the scales, not so we can play the scales when we get to Carnegie Hall, but so that we're better at everything we play when we're at Carnegie Hall. And so as we breathe in this way, we're practicing for daily life to unpack our system. When anything comes at you don't like, you can breathe it in and let it go. We exhale up to 23,000 times a day, some of us much more if we're very active. That's between 23 and 30,000 times a day to let some stuff go. Practicing right now. And continuing to breathe in this way, tightening up the pauses at the top and the bottom, dropping down a little more, noticing a little more any tastes, textures, sights, sounds, smells, or sensations associated with this powerful relaxation and breathing pattern.
Desapareció, él ni aparecerá. Creyeron que murió, pero renacerá. Llovió, paró, llovió, y un chico adivinó. Oímos una voz.
Just continuing to breathe now,
Y desde un tango,
listening to the music,
pañuelo blanco,
maybe finding your own rhythm in the rhythm of the music, and breathing with me.
no eran buenas esas épocas, malos eran esos aires.
Letting the sounds
Fue hace
permeate your
25
cells.
años, y vos existías. No eran buenas esas épocas, malos eran esos aires. Fue hace 25 años, y vos existías sin existir todavía.
And as you breathe into the rhythm, looking for where you can let go a little more. Where can you relax a little more? Letting your sensation progress through your body. Letting your feelings arise. Noticing tastes, textures, sights, sounds, smells, and sensations associated. Observing without judgment. Active inhale, passive exhale. The inhale is big, the exhale just happens. Opening and expanding on the inhale. Relaxing and letting go on the exhale. We're just making a little more space. That's all we're doing. We're opening up the opportunity to let go of stuff we no longer need. And as you breathe powerfully, stop now and notice, observing one more time the energy that you've brought into your body, maybe sealing your lips and beginning to breathe quietly again through your nose and noticing the sensation. And just observing the difference in your system now from just a few short minutes ago. Continuing to breathe powerfully, potently. What you think about while you breathe is so important. Where can you bring a little more love in your breath into your body right now with your brain? It's just that simple. Maybe some of you need a release. Maybe the music brought up a feeling. Maybe some of you are tired and you've just had enough and you need a good cry. I invite you now, in the privacy of your own home, in the privacy of your own room, in the privacy and safety of your own breath, to begin to release and breathe and notice what's there, what's underneath it, what's underneath the fear. What's underneath the tension? What's underneath the apprehension? And where can your breath bring a little something extra that right now you need? And so as you breathe and notice the sensation, that felt sensation of the air powerfully moving energetically up into the sinus, imagining you can feel it going up into the brain, maybe connecting your pineal gland. If you know where that is, just breathing into your pineal now, up through your nose, up into the pineal. And if you need to play a different game, you can imagine that your breath is like a scrub brush or a toothbrush. And as you breathe in through your nose powerfully, up into your sinus, you could imagine that your breath is scrubbing your brain clean. What would you like to be rid of right now that's stuck in your brain? Breathe it in and imagine a trap door opening on the top of your head, and on the exhale, imagine what spills out. Just notice what's spilling out. And as you breathe in again, maybe filling that space back up with something that you want to be in there. A little bit of calm, a little bit of peace, a little bit of joy, a little bit of extra love. So I'm going to put another piece of music on that has a little bit of rhythm, a little bit of beat in a minute. And I'm going to invite you to breathe through your mouth again in a little bit more active way. But for now, you're simply noticing as you breathe through your nostrils how good it feels to scrub your brain clean with your breath. How good it feels to have a moment of peace in this sensation, in this pocket of pure check-in, in this zone of total oneness with your breath, your brain, and your body. And so now beginning to breathe again through your mouth, back in that very large, very active fashion. We'll do this for a few more minutes, and then we're just going to stop and bask and freestyle it. But for the next few minutes, we want to bring in a little more energy. So begin to breathe with me again, imagining that you're sucking a piece of spaghetti through a straw or breathing through whistle lips and snapping that exhale loose in a Shakespearean way. Ready? Just breathing to the music now, listening. Let the music permeate your body as you make a little bit of space. Making space with your breath right now.
It's always looping around my head. Is it you and me? I don't know where we should go from here. Let's wait and see. Is it you? Is it me?
Let the music take you, people.
I thought we were running out of time.
This is your time. Time you set aside for yourself. Breathe for yourself.
Did you ever think we'd last forever? Did you ever think I'd let you down? Whatever it is, you know, we gotta fix it. Whatever it is, you know, I'm still here listening. It's a mystery to me what we do to each other. It's a mystery to me why we do it. Why do we do it? It's a mystery to me why we do it to each other. It's a mystery to me why we do it. Is it you? Is it me? I want to get comfortable.
Dropping down a little more. Where can you make a little more space? Opening and expanding on the inhale, relaxing and letting go on the exhale. Bringing the energy in that you need and sweeping your brain and body out with your breath. Come on, everybody. In this moment, if you're breathing, there's more right with you than there is wrong with you. Breathe that in right now. How good does that shit feel? Come on, breathe it in. Breathe it in and let it go. Whatever's coming up. If you need to cry, cry. If you need to laugh, laugh. If you're feeling cold, put a blanket on. This is your time. Open and expand. This is your time to release. In just a second, we're going to renew. We're going to pull it all in. Right now, let it all go. So many people out there need our love. They need our help. They need everything. We can't give anybody anything. We're not taking care of ourselves. And now just taking a moment. Take a big inhale. And let it go. Another big inhale. And let it go. Another big inhale. And let it go. And now sealing your lips again and breathing through your nose. And just checking in with your system. Observing all of the energy, all of the feeling, all of the sensation. Just coming back to your brain and body. How simple, how basic, how glorious is the opportunity to simply be with your breath with others in this time. We're all breathing the same air, all of us. So even though we're closed up indoors, the breath that you're exhaling now is going to make it into somebody that you love eventually. What kind of breath would you like your loved ones to breathe? Breathe it in and offer it up as an exhale to them now. And any time in the coming days that you feel lonely or disconnected, connect with your breath. Stop and notice and ask yourself, how do I know that I'm breathing? How do I know that I'm breathing? And by checking in with your breath, you can be suddenly and certainly sure that you're connected to everyone else on this planet because we're all breathing the same air. And so now taking a moment and breathing in any way that's pleasant to you. And just taking a few moments to listen to the sounds that I'm going to play. Check in with your body and let whatever feelings the music brings up come up. Let them come up and greet them with your breath, trusting that whatever you bring to your breath, again, the breath will bring back to you. This is your journey. This is your time. Let yourself feel what you need to feel so you have some extra space when all of this is done.
How could I ever know you when everything lies in disguise? How could I ever forget those eyes looking for my will? How could I ever know more when everything is held by fate? And how could I ever feel you once again without losing my mind? Empty note, shadows of my past, made it through the end. Empty note, shadows of my past, made it through the end. How could
Just checking in, going a little deeper, feeling a little more space, a little more opportunity to serve, a little more opportunity to love. Where can you love a little more? No matter how much it hurts, no matter how weird things get, where can you love a little more? Breathe it in now. Now it's okay to ride the breath up and down, to breathe in any way that's pleasurable to you. Because if you don't generate that felt sensation of pleasure in your body, no one's going to do it for you. So breathe to feel good now. Breathe to make space for joy. Think of your loved ones. Think of the most beautiful sunset you've ever seen. Think of the most mind-blowingly incredible, joyful experience you've ever had. And breathe it into your system now until you can feel the joy in your cells. Every cell is a lung. Every cell has respiration. Where can you breathe a little more? Love, peace, patience, kindliness, tolerance, and love. And now stopping to observe one last time. What's going on in my system? How good does it feel to be me? Where can I serve a little more? In this time of great need, of great uncertainty and division, where can I love a little more? Where can I breathe a little more joy, a little more peace, a little more compassion into my world, and the worlds of those I love. Last time, noticing your breath, bringing your attention to your full body. Gratitude is the most powerful of all field generators in terms of emotion. When we experience gratitude, it has the greatest impact on the human magnetic field. It's the most important attitude or orientation that we can have. And so now we just take a moment and breathe gratitude for yourselves, for each of you taking the time, trusting your breath, trusting yourself, trusting the process. Giving thanks to who or whatever you believe out there is looking out for you today. And trusting that something or someone is looking out for you today. No matter where you are not alone. Right now you're breathing with a number of other people who are all breathing with you in the same way, for the same reason, in the same place at the same time. That's so powerful, so potent. And so we're going to breathe one last song. And then I'm going to let you all go and release you to go and breathe the joy, the love, the peace, the patience, the new capacity that you found to breathe that into your world. And so use this song to maybe bring yourself back into this space and place and time very slowly, very gently. And as I play the music, beginning to bring movement back into your fingers and toes, wiggling them out, touching the tips of your fingers to the tip of your thumb, and maybe at the end of the song, waiting till the very end, and then fluttering your eyelids open like butterfly wings. And then we'll take some time together. Breathing in any way that's pleasant and enjoyable to you now. All the work is done. Time to just enjoy how you're feeling right now. Giving thanks to yourself, to everyone in the group, for your breath, for the opportunity to be a part of something. Breathing all together now, as a community. Nothing better.
I feel like summer. You can feel it in the streets on a day like this. That heat, I feel like summer. She feel like summer. This feel like summer. I feel like summer. 7 days.
And now bringing yourself back entirely into this space and place and time. Fully awake, fully aware, fully relaxed.